Welcome to another episode of the Unconventional Marketing Podcast. I'm Jeremy Salem with Digital Traffic Ace, and this is the spot where we talk entrepreneurship, online marketing, and everything in between. We cover lessons, ideas, experiments, case studies, and more, and everything that you need to know as you start and or grow your online business. So recently I was kind of looking at some of our most successful clients or students, whatever you want to call them, that we've had in our e-commerce coaching program over several years. And just kind of trying to identify two things. Number one is, what type of people are they? So, are they single? Are they married? Do they have kids? Do they have entrepreneurial experience? Do they work full time? Right? Trends like that. And then secondly, the ones who really take off, who are out there running these 6 or even multi 7-figure brands, and they started from scratch with us, what do I notice? And the second piece of this was really interesting. First piece I'll talk about another time, because I think there is something to that as well. But the second piece of, what do they do different? I noticed in virtually every single of our most successful case studies that these people had basically used what we taught them and we did with them as a foundation. But then they all had kind of put their own unique spin on things as they grew. Let me give you a couple examples here. So I can think of one particular student of ours who came in, he got up and moving, and then he actually traveled to China and built relationships with manufacturers and started basically manufacturing his own products, got his own warehouse and stuff like that, which we don't teach. We don't teach going to China and building relationships with manufacturers, right? I can think of another student who they actually went out and found a manufacturer, not going to China, and then basically took a product that they were initially drop shipping, but then branded it under their own private label, and basically just took off with influencer marketing and being featured in publications and things like that, which again is not something we teach as we're, because that's a little bit more advanced than when people are just trying to basically build up an income with a store. And lastly, recently, one of our students I noticed went completely outside of what we do, and he started an e-commerce brand that, without giving it away, just caters to a certain, it's actually a food brand, but it caters to a certain market. So he basically took some skills and, from ads, from page conversion, from foundational principles, but then went out and transitioned to basically providing a food service. So the common theme is that the people that really crush it, that go beyond just, succeeding, but actually, really, I'm talking, take things to the next level, or at least get on that path. They generally take the foundation that we help them build, and then they put their own spin on it. And actually, I've thought about this, and if you look at pretty much anything, any industry, this is true. So think of the best athletes in the world. Think of a LeBron James. So when he learned how to play basketball, he built the foundational skills of shooting and dribbling, playing defense, right? Layups, all that stuff. But he wasn't learning how to do 360 dunks and to throw the ball off the backboard and catch it, passing it to himself and dunking it, right? So he basically built his foundational skills, and also he obviously had a lot of God-given talent, and then basically turn himself into a superstar. Nobody is going to basically be able to give him the foundation of what he's become, right? They can only give him the skill sets, the more basic, and I say basic lightly because it could be advanced, but basically teaching him how to play basketball and the rules and how to do this and how to guard and how to shuffle his feet and dribbling skills, right? As he's growing up, but then he takes off to a level that nobody could teach him to get to. And that's what I noticed with our students, our clients as well. And again, if you look at almost any industry, this is true. Even like the food industry with restaurants, somebody may basically learn the foundation of building, let's say, a successful Italian restaurant. But generally, if they take off and they excel and they build a really successful restaurant, there's something they've done to put their own spin on it. Whether it's something with their recipes or with their service or with entertainment they provide at the restaurant, there's generally something that's a bit unique that makes them stand out. So I think the big lesson here for me and for anyone listening is that if you are learning something new, think of acting, for example, right? You learn the foundation of your vocal tone and mannerisms and facial expressions and things like that. But again, eventually an actor who is award-winning is going to put their own spin on things, and they're really going to basically excel when they take it into their own hands and really, create their own acting skills beyond what the foundational acting skills are that they would learn in some kind of school. So the lesson again is, for me, for you, when you're learning something and your goal is to basically, build the foundation and see success with that foundation. But generally to get to the next level, and I'm talking about to be in the upper echelon, call it the top 1% if you want, you generally need to be thinking about how to put your own spin on things and basically understanding that the foundational principles that you learned got you to this point, and that's what you needed. You needed to get to that point so then you could take the next step. But the next step may be different for you than it is for somebody else, and putting your own unique spin on that. And again, I could go on and on with examples. Same thing with golf. Tiger Woods, right? He learned the foundations growing up of the grip and backswing and downswing and things like that. But nobody can teach him to be Tiger Woods, right? He's basically going to evolve and learn and turn his swing into his thing, right? Into who he is. Tiger Woods and 100 other people could go to a golf school and learn the foundations of golf. But beyond that, once they learn how to swing a club, how to hold a club, where to keep their head, they're not all going to become Tiger Woods, right? Some of that is just natural skill set, the ability to learn, God-given talent, things like that. But then the other part of it is just kind of, adapting and putting your own unique spin and turning yourself into something more than what you learned from the foundations.